Welcome to Game Talk Tonight with your host, Alex, featuring game reviews, a quiz, Gex, and so much more. And here's Alex!
Hey, welcome. Yeah. Welcome to the show, everybody. We have an awesome episode this month. This is our third time doing a Game Talk Tonight, and we have had a great opportunity for this episode because this episode lines up with the release of the brand new Gex trilogy. That's right. We're having a Gex-centric episode today to celebrate the release of the Gex trilogy. Who would have expected the return of our favorite lizard? I can't wait for modern gamers to experience this classic franchise. Gex is so cool that I want to have Gex with him. Speaking of Gex, it's weird to have a talking lizard as the main character. What is this? A Disney movie for QAnon? Yeah, thank you. A recent report came out that the Steam Deck is so underpriced that they actually lose money with every unit sold. Luckily, Gabe Duel is so confident that the users will buy more games on his platform. He said he would eat the cost and 3 gallons of Ben & Jerry's. I hope he's getting Rocky Road ice cream. The RPCS3, that's a mouthful, a PlayStation 3 emulator, has been officially released to the public. Now you can play all those classic PS3 games that haven't already been remastered to death, including Naughty Bear. I don't know. The big news for Overwatch fans, the Mexican assassin Sombra is making some major moves in the next patch. But don't get too excited, though. She's being deported. She'll be off the roster soon. Have you heard about Warner Bros. Games? They're restructuring their games division to just 4 franchises. Yeah, it's going to be Harry Potter, Mortal Kombat, DC, and Game of Thrones. So I guess that means we're never going to get to play the highly anticipated Porky Pig's Rape Dungeon. Yeah, I was looking forward to that one too. One of the most exciting new features of the Switch 2 is its ability to turn the Joy-Con controllers into the equivalent of computer mice. Users claim that this lets them increase the speed they search porn by 250%. That is some fast porn searching, I do have to say. Elden Ring Night Reign's strict multiplayer rules have left some of the fan base divided. One side says that it offers a nuanced approach to cooperation that freshens up the series, while the other side has no friends. Hitman developer IO Interactive is planning to showcase some exciting new gameplay very soon. Fans can't wait to see it. But understand that the showcase will probably go by undetected for about 10 minutes, then go on a shooting rampage where it gets caught by a bathroom attendant. All right, everybody. We have a great show lined up. We have a great interview with the lizard himself. Some jokes, some trivia. I can't wait. Get ready. Get excited. It's Gex. It's the Gex episode. Yeah. See ya. Welcome, everybody. We have a big surprise this episode. This is the biggest surprise we've ever had in Game Talk Tonight history. As you know, the Gex trilogy has just released, and it's a big deal over here. And we had to move some things around, and I had to make some calls, but we were able to actually get an interview set up with the man himself. That's right, we have not the man, but the lizard. Gex, he's here today, and let's go ahead and give a round of applause for him being here.
Hey everyone. Glad to be here to celebrate my new trilogy, available on all modern platforms. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Alex.
Awesome. I'm a huge fan. I can't believe you're on my talk show. So the new trilogy came out. I've been playing it. I thought it was really good. How's the reception been? Are people liking it?
Oh, it's fantastic. Everyone loves Gex. I can't believe how well it's been selling. Everywhere you go, even online, it's out of stock. You can't, if you go on Steam and try to buy it, it'll tell you it's out of stock. People have bought too much of it.
Oh wow! I didn't even know that could happen.
It's a new thing.
I know that they had those like limited pre-orders with all the special editions and stuff.
They're all gone. If you didn't pre-order it, you're out of luck. No Gex for you.
Wow! Big star. And which is awesome because you were away for a while. I think the last game was in 1999. You've been gone for a pretty long time. Are you happy to be back?
Thrilled to be back in the spotlight. A lot of things have changed since back then. I was so young. I was just a young little lizard. But now I'm a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and I think I'm not the same gecko that I used to be, if you know what I mean.
I'm sure he's still down in there somewhere, man. Which really begs the question of people are buying this new trilogy. They're playing a lot of it. They're finding what made the original games so unique and fun. The voice and character of Gex yourself, not really character, just you as a personality, and like the fun, innovative level designs, and like the idea of going in and out of TV shows. And I think it's left this like question out in the ether right now. Is Gex 4 gonna happen?
Yeah, Gex 4. Yeah. I mean, it's a possibility. I'm more focused on my auditing, though. I'm into that a lot more than a Gex experience, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. Because I had ideas for Gex 4. Really parodying modern TV and modern movies. And there's not really a game like that on the marketplace right now. You could really go, like the 25 years you've been gone. There's a lot of ground to cover there. I feel like you could really take Gex 4 into some fun, creative ideas, and also this, the platforming space. In terms of 3D platformers, aren't really a thing anymore. So there's some cool places you could go.
We could go to a lot of cool places. One idea, I mean, what about my journey up the OT chain? Like working towards Sea Org. I'm getting to the top of that. I mean, it's going to take a lot of auditing. You could do like a whole buildup of my journey, getting audited this day and then getting audited the next day and like finding ways to pay for it, which always circle back to constant growth and the eventual, ownership of slaves on my personal yacht. I think that could be like a Gex 4 thing that we do. I don't know. What do you think about that? Would that be fun to play? Or that's my idea.
Yeah. It sounds good and all. I'm not entirely sure that I'm following.
Well, I've been getting real into the works of Hubbard. You read his stuff? It's really, really inspiring. It's about volcanoes. You like volcanoes, right? Those are kind of cool.
I mean, there was a level in Gex 2 where you climbed a volcano. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that, but then there's spirits in it, and you gotta get rid of them. You gotta cleanse yourself of it, and it goes through a process of auditing. You really have to read his book. I'll send you a copy of it afterwards. But I think gamers should also get to play something that teaches them that, because it's more of a spiritual connection to the world that I think people are really gonna like and sink their teeth into. You know.
Yeah, I don't know if don't worry about sending me the book. I'm pretty sure we might have one in the studio or something. I can
Dianetics.
borrow. Yeah. I you know, the are you trying to tell me that you're a Scientologist?
A huge Scientologist. The 90s, I was going crazy because I was so popular for a short period of time, and I couldn't understand like why people didn't like me anymore, you know? And then I was on a bunch of psych meds because I was really depressed. But then I realized that those psych meds weren't helping me, they were killing me. I needed to get off those and start following the lessons that L. Ron Hubbard has outlined. So now that's what I've been doing. And I got to tell you, I've never been happier. And one day, I'm going to own a yacht. And I'm going to be out in international waters, and I'm going to have slaves. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm just, let's just get back on the idea of Gex 4, right? Like the idea of Gex 4 could be fresh because a lot of people love pulp culture now. So you could have like levels where you like parody Marvel movies or John Wick or the Squid Games or, Wednesday, like those type of like viral shows and movies that people love, and in the older games, you had these like, these quips you always said, these quotes that you always said throughout the levels that like really endeared you to the character, right? Like you could incorporate that into the new game as well in a creative way. And I think it would be really popular. I think it'd be good.
Yeah, I have some quotes we could use. You think we
Okay.
want to try out a couple quotes?
Yeah, that's great. That's great because like I said, the older Gex games, you were always throwing out quips and quotes. I thought it was really clever.
Yeah, like if I hit somebody with my patented tailspin, right? I could go
Oh, I know this one. Tail time, right? It's tail time.
That was the old Gex. This one will say, "Never regret yesterday. Life is in you today, and you make your tomorrow." Like it's I knock them out, but it's like inspiring and it pushes them to be better. That's from the Code of Honor. Like, wouldn't that be good?
Like there used to be like I was telling Spencer earlier on the show, one of my favorite quotes from the second game is you say, "Don't drink the tap water," Jerry Garcia's. It's just a very funny little quip. You have no reason to say it. I always thought it was cute, and
That's a good one. I think my tastes have evolved though. I think I should say instead of a Jerry Garcia joke, what if I did, "On the day when we can fully trust each other, there will be peace on earth." After I'm going through a cool zone or something. Like, do you think that would click with the people?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting. Yeah. Gex, great to have you here, man. We have to go. It turns out we're out of time. We got to continue with the rest of the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, before I go, the people that are finding you for the first time, playing your trilogy, really liking what they're seeing, is there anything you want to tell them before we go?
You probably have too many thetans. I can give you, Alex is going to put a link below that will direct you to where we can get audited and how we can do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Gex, for showing up and having the interview today, man.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Go buy Gex Trilogy now on the modern platforms: PS5, Xbox, Switch, Steam. It's there. You can find Gex. He's back.
He's back and he's auditing like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. Can we? Yeah. I think the audio cut out for Gex.
Hey guys, it's Spencer here.
with the button wrappers, and to celebrate Game Talk tonight's focus on Gex. It's basically a Gex episode. I thought it'd be a really cool idea to focus on the famous lizards throughout history. There's been so many, and I think that they're rarely discussed. So we're going to talk about famous lizards throughout history. All right, thanks for joining us for Famous Lizards. I can't wait to get into this. I got all these from ChatGPT. They supplied it to me. I'm excited to see what they think are the most famous lizards. And I think we should celebrate it. This is a great opportunity to celebrate these lizards. Let's take a look. First up, we have Godzilla. How do you have a list like this and not have Godzilla? He's the king of, not only is he the king of lizards, but he's the king of monsters, the king of the kaiju. This is the start of this is the most famous big monster. They make big monster movies. This is the poster child of it. A representation, I should say, of the U.S.'s testing of nuclear weapons and the effects that it has. It's kind of a metaphor, but at the same time, it's just grown into its own thing. People celebrate it. Godzilla. It doesn't get much bigger than that, and I'm excited to say this is probably the most famous lizard. And for good reason. Let's take a look at what we have next. Reptile from Mortal Kombat. Okay, probably not as big of a deal as Godzilla, but I think this ties in more with video games, and this is a video game-centric channel. So I think Reptile from Mortal Kombat is a great addition to this list. And keep in mind that Reptile has evolved a lot as the series has continued. Originally, it was just a different skin of Sub-Zero. But it's grown in, obviously, with time, and they've been able, with graphics improving the way they are, they've been able to give him this amazing new character that is his own character. He's got reptile skin. I think he shoots acid. I don't really play a lot of Mortal Kombat. I play a lot of Metal Gear. I don't play a lot of Mortal Kombat, but I can say that Reptile is one of the coolest ones. So I'm glad to see that he made this list. Thanks, ChatGPT. Let's see what you got next. Geico Gecko. So he's the gecko from all those commercials. What an American thing to have to celebrate a commercial. But I think everyone can agree that the Geico Gecko is pretty darn cool. He's been here for forever. He's a staple in American pop culture. He's a gecko and he talks. And he's got all these opinions on things. I think it's pretty neat. I think everybody loves the Geico Gecko. And I'm super, super happy he made on here. And I might just get some Geico just from seeing this. And maybe we should get a plug from Geico. I know I love their insurance, and I think everybody else should love it too. So make sure you give Geico a look-see when you're looking for your insurance options. And let's celebrate the gecko while we do it. So thanks, ChatGPT. What else you got? Well, who is the next famous lizard on the list? Hillary Clinton. Okay. I wasn't really expecting that. It's kind of an off-putting image, if I'm being realistic. But obviously Hillary Clinton is a lizard and has dealt in lizard dealings throughout her political career. We've seen her do some pretty shady things, and clearly, if you look at the complexion of her skin, the look in her eyes, the shape of her skull, which is inhuman, you could probably dictate that she's been underground before, and probably more than she's been on the surface. I don't know if anybody's ever really seen her as much on the surface as they probably realize that she's been underground. So you can see the way that her arms are. They're very lizard-like, and she even has a tail. Most people don't even remember that she has one. But if you look closely during a lot of press meetings, sometimes you can see the tail behind her, just waving around. And no one's really questioned it, but it's very clear that she's one of the most popular lizards in history. I mean, she's made the list, and probably wouldn't have been my fourth, but yeah, Hillary Clinton. Interesting. I wonder what ChatGPT has in store for us next. Let's see. Mitch McConnell. I could see it, but I always hear more of a turtle. He's got the little thing. Looks like his name might be Mortimer, but it's actually Mitch. Which actually, now that I think about it, I was talking to Alex. I think Mortimer is the extension of Mitch. Is they like Mitch, Michael, all those names end up becoming no, it's not Mortimer. Or no, I think it is Mortimer. I don't know. It's one of those names. Anyway, yeah, Mitch McConnell is another politician. It's interesting that ChatGPT would choose politicians. You wouldn't think they would because, you know, they run the world and their underground lair is so secretive. But I think we all do understand that some of these creatures do come from below the Earth's surface. And Mitch McConnell is no exception to that. You can see just the way that he's barely moving. He's had some medical issues, but is still on top of the political spectrum, which should be illegal. You know, but lizards operate under a different set of rules in different circumstances, so they're free to crawl about and do as they wish. You know, you see him on a plane, you see him on the street. His eyes don't close the way most humans do, and you try to run. But I'll tell you that if Mitch McConnell has you in your sights, good luck. Let's see who else they have on here. Oh, Johnny Depp with his role as Rango. Everybody remembers Rango. He's an animated lizard in a movie. Wasn't his biggest movie, but it's still an interesting footnote in history, and I'm glad that it made the list. I don't have a whole lot to say about Rango. I've never actually seen the movie, but I hear it's a real fun time, and if it's Johnny Depp, I think it's pretty cool. Let's see what else they have here. Johnny Depp's attorney. Oh, Jim Caldwell. Interesting. Yeah, you'd put an attorney here. That kind of threw me off course, but yeah, I mean, he is the attorney of Johnny Depp and a lot of other people, and he probably has helped out a lot of fellow lizards out of some very hard, difficult positions. I know they call him the lawyer to the stars, and he's helped out politicians as well. And yeah, if you look closely, you could probably see that his tongue would stick out in a weird way. And he's probably very cold-blooded. So an interesting addition. I think that's it for all of the lizards we have, but it's been fun celebrating famous lizards. Back to you, Alex. Welcome to Gex Trivia. We're here today with our host, Alex, and he claims to be a Gexpert. Does that mean that he knows Gex really well, or is this a euphemism? I'm not sure, but we're going to find out just how much of an expert he is on Gex, because we're doing Gex Trivia.
Who wants to be a Gex trillionaire?
Yeah, I asked ChatGPT to give me 10 Gex-specific trivia questions. We're actually testing ChatGPT on how well it does trivia as well, so we're going to find out. It's almost like a two-way trivia street here. But we're going to ask Alex 10 questions, and we're going to see what his score is. And I want the users at home to play to see how well they do. And post your honest score in the chat below.
You should have asked ChatGPT to make a picture of Gex holding a trophy for when I win.
I didn't think of that. That is genius, but well, maybe next time we'll do something like that. Unfortunately,
Can you do it in post?
I may do it in post if I remember. We'll see if I can remember.
If you remember, Spencer, you're watching this right now as editing Spencer. Hold on, I'm not talking to current Spencer. Editing Spencer. If I win, put up a picture of Gex, an AI Gex holding a trophy.
And let's assume that editing Spencer will watch this and not just post it and move on to the next section. So, trusting in him. All right. You ready to get started?
Yes.
All right. Our first question in the Gex Trivia is, and we're starting easy, what kind of animal is Gex, the main character of the game series? A, frog, B, gecko, C, chameleon, or D, salamander?
What are my options again?
Your options are A, frog, B, gecko, C, chameleon, or D, salamander.
Oof, this is tough. My heart wants to say frog because I'm a big fan of Frogger.
Yes.
But that's not it. I'm gonna go with gecko.
You are correct. It is gecko.
Yes! Yes, yes, yes! One down.
One down. Number 2. What is the name of the evil antagonist that Gex battles throughout the series? A. Dr. Cortex. B. Rez. C. Slippy. Or D. Croc.
Oh, now Gex versus Croc, that would be the fight of the century, right? The two green titans
Battling
facing
it out.
off.
Yeah.
Who do you think would win? Gex versus Croc? I think Gex would win.
I think
honestly.
Gex Croc doesn't do a whole lot, so I think Gex would win.
Croc wouldn't stand a chance. Yeah, no, Crocs would get obliterated. Slippy Slippy's a trick question, a trick answer because Slippy is the public enemy number one. Nobody likes Slippy. Rez, I'm gonna go with Rez.
You are correct. It is Rez.
Nice.
Okay, question 3. Which real-life comedian provided the voice for Gex in the North American versions of the games? A. Dana Carvey. B. Jim Carrey. C. Dana Gould. Or D. Jeff Foxworthy.
Now Jeff Foxworthy, I did hear he almost got the role, which would have been a way different game if Jeff Foxworthy got the role of Gex.
Aren't
He was like,
these
you know,
movies-
you're a lizard.
yeah. Aren't these
You know,
movies
you're a
crazy?
lizard when you're climbing on the wall. if you're climbing on the wall and you're in the middle of a TV show, you might be a lizard. That'd be Jeff Foxworthy's version. I'm gonna go with C. It's Dana Gould. And he is a pretty funny guy. I like him.
Dana Gould is correct. So far, you're 3 for 3. Good job.
Gexpert, dude.
Number 4. Which of the following was the first console to host the original Gex game in 1995? A. PlayStation. B. Nintendo 64. C. Sega Saturn. Or D. 3DO.
See, this is a tricky question because all of those platforms have hosted Gex games, but only one of them could really handle the raw power of Gex. And no, it's not my beloved Sega Saturn. It was the 3DO.
That's correct. 3DO. You're 4 for 4. Number 5. What is the title of the second game in the Gex series? A. Gex 2 Into the Gecko. B. Gex Enter the Lizard. C. Gex Returns. D. Gex TV Terrors.
Ooh. Now, Gex Returns actually got canceled after there was some issues with a certain Gex scene. Gex got a little frisky with one of the female characters, and they actually got a lawsuit for that game. It's Enter the Gecko.
Into the Gecko is correct. You're 5 for 5.
Nailing it.
We're only getting harder, though.
Ooh.
Number 6.
Oh.
In the Gex games, what is Gex's primary method of attacking enemies? A. Punches. B. Tail whip. C. Fire breath. Or D. Sonic scream.
Well, Spencer, if you were a true Gex fan, you would know that Gex's catchphrase is "It's tail time." So obviously, it's a nice tail whip.
Tail whip is correct. Wow, Alex, you're a real fiend in the Gex scene. Number 7. Which of these themes is not one of the parody TV worlds Gex explores?
Ooh.
A.
Okay.
Horror. B. Sci-fi. C. Cooking show. Or D. Kung fu.
See.
Cooking show is correct. That is not one of the
Yes.
themes. kind of an obvious answer on that one. ChatGPT, but we'll give it to you. It is technically true. 8. What catchphrase does Gex often say when entering levels or attacking enemies? A. Well, you're kind of already done. But A. Time to tail smack. B. It's tail time. C. Gecko power. Or D. Back to the tube.
I do like the last two. I think Gecko Power and Back to the Tube are pretty good. It's tail time, but I'm going to say that one of the best one-liners that Gex ever says in Gex 2 is he says, "Don't drink the tap water at Jerry Garcia's." So that's just a nice little fact I put in there.
But yes, you are correct. It's tail time. Which company developed the original Gex game? A. Rare. B. Naughty Dog. C. Crystal Dynamics. Or D. Insomniac Games.
Wow, tough one. So I'm pretty sure it wasn't Rare, Naughty Dog, or Insomniac. It was Crystal Dynamics. And then they later went on to make the Lara Croft reboot games where she like gets fucked up and molested in the first game.
It's a good thing to add to this quiz. Excellent. You're right. Crystal Dynamics.
I just want the public to know that the people that made Gex made that fucking game. When you're playing like the most depressing beginning of a game ever, remember that.
All right. Number 10, we're going to move past that. What was the planned but ultimately canceled fourth entry in the Gex series rumored to be titled?
Ooh.
A. Gex 4 Resurrection. B. Gex Deep Cover Gecko 2. C. Gex Jr. Or D. Return of the Gecko.
Well, Spencer, a few years ago, there was an uncovered, unreleased prototype for Gex Jr. that has been shown to the public. So I'm going to go with Gex Jr.
You are correct. You are 10 out of 10. You are a true Gexpert.
Yes. Put the picture up. It's right here. Put it up. Editing, Spencer. Put it up.
Here's where it will be, assuming I remembered to do it. Right here.
Yes.
If not, you just get my face.
I know Gex, and nobody else on this planet knows Gex better than me. If you think you know Gex, you can come to my address and fight me. Put the address up on the screen now, Spencer.
Okay.
Show up, and I will fight you in my driveway.
Okay, I've done as you asked. I don't know why you can't just beat him in a trivia question or trivia, but you chose.
That's not what Gex would do.
You chose in combat.
Gex would use his fists.
Okay, yeah,
or his tail. But I don't have a tail, so I gotta use my fists.
Tail time. It's tail time.
It's tail time.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, how well did you do?
Gecko power.
How well did you do? Please be honest. Don't try to lie. But you've seen here, Alex has gotten a perfect score. Did you also? Thank you, everybody, and see you in the next segment.
It feels like every gaming generation, we get at least one cataclysmic event that shakes the entire industry as we know it. Final Fantasy VII, Half-Life 2, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, games that reshape and reimagine what we can think gaming to be. And I think we just found the next one. This is Gex Trilogy. Gex Trilogy, released to all modern platforms and Steam, is a collection of 3 Gex games. Gex was a popular character from the 90s. He had games from 1995 to 1999, and then he kind of disappeared from the public eye. Gex was created by Crystal Dynamics, and you may know Crystal Dynamics today because they later went on to helm the Tomb Raider series, starting with Tomb Raider Legends and going all the way until the newest entries. So Gex was left behind, sort of stored away at the Eidos offices. Eidos was then purchased by Square Enix, where Gex was put into a closet. It seems like Limited Run Games has dug that corpse back out of the closet at Square Enix and brought the original Gex games to modern platforms using their new Carbon engine. So in this collection, you do get Gex 1, which is a 2D platformer that is hard as nails. This was originally a 3DO game that got ported to the Saturn and PS1. The PS1 version is what you have here. And this one I think got the least in terms of improvements. It got all the games have the ability to save whenever you want, which is extra helpful when it comes to the first Gex, because the PS1 version of Gex 1 used a password system. So, yes, you can properly save this version now, which is very nice, very convenient. Also, there is a rewind feature, which I think is really helpful for the first Gex, because the first Gex is good. It is a 2D platformer where you're sucked into a TV and you're going through different channels. And in each level, not only do you want to make it to the end of the stage, but you want to find a TV remote. And it can be very hard, especially near the end of the game. And I find it to be very frustrating at points whenever I get to the end of a level that was very hard and then realize I never picked up the damn remote. So rewinding is actually quite helpful in Gex 1. And see, it's the only one of this trilogy that I actually did take advantage of that new feature. There are borders to put up around the game. This game is not full screen. The aspect ratio does not fit a modern display, but that's fine. I think the game still looks good, and the game is still a lot of fun.
Since retiring from the public's eye, I had resigned myself to a life of solitude. For 2 years, I started my day watching Kung Fu theater. Days, then weeks blurred into one long, greasy telethon. The next thing I know, some government goons show up at my place. It seems they've caught a whiff of old Mr. Sunshine himself, Rez. He's back in the media dimension, and they think I'm crazy enough to go back in after him. So they whisk me away to Interrogation 101. They play rough. Start giving me the business. I give a little back. So we negotiate a little something to cover my expenses. They throw in one of those secret agent suits, and I tell them we got a deal. Looks like I'm headed back into the media dimension. It's gonna be deja ouch all over again. Coming through.
Dr. Zaius, would an ape make a human doll that talks?
Gex 2, Enter the Gecko, is the first 3D game in the franchise, and I think it's the most iconic one. It's the one that people seem to reference the most. Now, this game was a pretty early example of a 3D platformer. It kind of takes the Mario 64 approach of having you go into a level and do different objectives to receive a TV remote collectible. Now, those objectives are usually 3 objectives sprinkled through the level, along with getting all of the collectibles in the stage and finding one hidden remote in the stage. There are some big improvements with this one. Obviously, the biggest one is the visuals. It is this game and the third game both fit a modern display now, which is very nice. They look very good. Also, both this game and the third game got analog stick support, full analog stick support, which is nice because these games were originally played on D-pad, which can be a little awkward today. But they feel really good, and they also mapped the camera to the other analog stick. So you do have proper camera control, even though I did find Gex Enter the Gecko had some camera issues still. There's still some stages where the camera's a little finicky, but it's nothing I'm not used to. I find that people that didn't grow up or didn't play a lot of platformers like me, like I am a 3D platformer junkie through and through. I played a ton of these games. This is like my comfort zone. This is like my level of comfort are these games. I find that people that didn't play a lot of these platformers around this time period, around the 90s or early 2000s, they complain a lot about the camera. And I never understood it. I always found it to be a non-issue with most games. Most games' camera aren't that terrible. I think people are just like to find things to nitpick. Other than that, Gex 2 is very fun, very creative. You go through a lot of different parodies of TV shows and movies. And the first game you do too, but the first game you only have like 4 worlds. This one feels like it's a lot more. You do revisit the themes here or there through multiple areas, which is a little deflating later on because you open a new area of the map and you're excited to see what levels you got, and you get a level motif that you've already done 3 other ones for. So that can be a little tiring, but I do think this game is very good, and this is the best way to play it.
Taste my tail! Lady, the thing! It's tail time.
And that's how the mayor got his pants back. What's this? Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been handed some late-breaking news. Special Agent Extra, head of the TV Terrorist Defense Unit, and star of many of my private dreams, is apparently missing.
Jerry Springer!
Agent Extra was last seen wearing 8-inch pumps and a red bathing suit. Her current whereabouts are unknown.
Gex!
Agent Extra? You poor kidnapped minx.
Hey, Tiger. Guess where I am? Trapped in the media dimension. Rez is back, and he's kidnapped me to get to you. He's attacking your secret island cave.
Hey, speaking of secrets, you want to see my...
Gex, quit clowning around and get me out of here. This place is giving me the creeps. Just dial me in.
You are now being so connected, baby.
Gex, listen up. Keep your watch on at all times so I can call you. Meanwhile, get me out of here. I need you.
Yeah, you and every other beautiful government agent trapped in a TV set. I'm on my way. Slamil, Slamazel, Hey, that tingles. Let's get ready for the ultimate gecko weapon, baby, yeah! Nobody messes with my 2-inch python!
Gex 3, Deep Cover Gecko. Before I played this trilogy, this was the one that I spent the least amount of time with in the past. I think I'd played a little bit of it on a digital version I owned on PlayStation 3, but never really gave it the time of day. And that's a real tragedy in my books because I really like this game. I think Gex 3 may be my favorite one. I think it's the most like fully realized of the package here. It takes a lot of the ideas from the second game and fleshes them out. So, for example, there's no repeating level motifs. Each level is unique and also is much bigger in scope. And the level themes are very creative in this game. You'll go to a level based off of like old Rankin and Bass Christmas specials. You go to an anime channel. You go to a pirate channel. You go to a Greek mythology channel. Like you go through a gangster channel, like an old school like 20s gangster channel. Like there's a lot of cool ideas in this game that I think work very well for what it's trying to do. And the collectible aspect is improved. I think the way that this game handles the collectibles in terms of the stages. The first game, you would have to find collectibles, but there wasn't a set of, like, there was just kind of sprinkled everywhere, and it wasn't like you had to find all the collectibles in a stage. You just had to find a set amount. This one, there's exactly a 100 fly coins in each stage. So it is rewarding to actually hunt down every single fly coin in the stages. And it just feels like the camera feels a lot better. I think the game overall is much improved. Gex 3 was a big surprise. I'm currently playing these on PS5, and I'm trying to 100% all of them. I'm very close to having all of the trophies for the trilogy here. And Gex 3 is the one that I keep finding myself getting sucked back into. This game is fantastic, and I honestly think this game is worth owning the collection for. Now, I won't show any of it here, but the collection does have some cool little extras. Some interviews with the voice actor Dana Gould, some other like ads and artwork and trailers and stuff. Some cut footage from the Gex Junior beta. You get to see some of that. Kind of sad that wasn't playable, but it is cool. And then also, because these are the PS1 versions of these games, there is some content in Gex 2 and 3 on N64 that were exclusive. Mainly, Gex 2 had a Titanic stage on N64, and Gex 3 had some extra bonus stages on the N64 version. They didn't include those either, but they did include videos to show you what those looked like, so that was nice. And also, something that they're adding, I don't know if it's in by time this video releases, but they are adding the UK voice acting as an option. So if you want to hear the UK version of Gex, which has different voice actors per game, you can do that. Gex Trilogy is fantastic. I have been having a blast playing this. It's kind of sad that in the year 2025, this is the best thing that I've played this year. It's so fun. It's so good. It's been fun revisiting an era of gaming that I truly miss. And if you are like me and this was your favorite time to play video games was in the late 90s, early 2000s, Gex Trilogy is a very fun game. A very fun package, and especially if you've never played these before. The references are outdated, but sometimes I think that makes them funnier. Gex Trilogy, Game of the Year 2025.
Get sure, baby! This is for Mr. Sinatra. And forget about it. Gotta love the
Nada.
That was Game Talk Tonight. Yeah, we did it. Episode 3. Thanks for being here. It went better than I expected.
Yeah. We wanted to make sure we hit everybody's expectations. Which is actually, I just stole the one you just used. So let me. I wish I knew more of these puns, but I'd have to expand my vocabulary.
Ooh. Yeah. Maybe you have to become a homosexual.
Oh, that was pretty good. I like to expectorate on a cock.
Expectorate.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully,
Thanks for watching.
This has been a fun episode for you. I know it's a lot of gex.
Yeah. So we didn't. Before we sign off, I do want to say we didn't do a Q&A because we didn't have any questions. So if you want a Q&A in the next Game Talk Tonight, leave a question on the YouTube upload. You have to go to YouTube, to the YouTube upload and put it in the comments so we can have a question ready to go. Also, let us know if you liked the themed episode, because if you did, we may be open to doing more themed episodes of Game Talk Tonight.
What would a good theme be for you, Alex?
Well, outside of this,
outside of Gex, I know Gex is number one.
I know another green character who might work for it, man.
Luigi?
You know who it is. No, you know who it is.
Yuka?
No, you know who it is.
Who's green?
Got a lot of leg action going on. He really paved the way with, he really crossed a lot of boundaries, pushed a lot of. He's an amphibian.
Oh.
It's my favorite game character.
You're talking about, yeah, the arcade
Right.
classic.
Say it. What's his name?
I won't say it.
Say it.
I like Gex more than I like him.
Say it!
Frogger!
Yeah!